بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وآمنوا بما أنزلت مصدقا لما معكم ولا تكونوا أول كافر به ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا وإياي فاتقون ولا تلبسوا الحق بالباطل وتكتمون الحق وأنتم تعلمون وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة واركعوا مع الراكعين أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب أفلا تعقلون واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة وإنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو ربهم وأنهم إليه راجعون يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأني فضلتكم على العالمين واتقوا يوما لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا ولا يقبل منها شفاعة ولا يؤخذ منها عدل ولا هم ينصرون صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu wa Amman Waluhu says, Ya Bani Israel, O children of Israel, Uzkuru ni'mati allati, remember my bounties I bestowed upon you. وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِي أُوفِ بِعَهْدِكُمْ, and it is your duty to fulfill your promise with your covenant with me, and I shall fulfill my covenant with you. وَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ, and fear me only. وَآمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلْتُ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ, and believe in what I have revealed. مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ, when it is confirming what you have already got. وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ, and don't be the first ones to reject it. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا, and don't barter my verses, my signs and symbols, for the scanty money of this world. وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ, and fear me only. وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and don't mix up the truth with the falsehood, and don't conceal the truth. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and you already know it. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, and establish the prayer and pay the charity of zakat, and bow down with the people bowing down in front of me. أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ, do you enjoin the people to follow the virtue, to follow the right way? وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, and you forget yourselves. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ, although you read the book. Although you read the book. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ? Don't you understand? وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ, and seek the help with the fortitude, with the patience and the prayer. وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ, and verily the prayer is a hard job, but for the God-fearing people it is quite easy. الَّذِينَ يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُلَاقُو رَبِّهِمْ, those who believe that they are going to meet with their Lord. وَأَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ, and verily they would return to Him only. يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ اذْكُرُوا نِعْمَتِيَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ, O children of Israel, recall to mind the bounties I bestowed upon you, the bounties I blessed you with. وَأَنِّي فَضَّلْتُكُمْ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ, and I exalted you over all of the people of that time. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا تَجْزِي نَفْسٌ عَنْ نَفْسٍ شَيْئًا, and guard yourself against the day when no believer would be able to avail any non-believer of anything. وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ, neither will the intercession by him be accepted. وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ, nor will the expiation or atonement or ransom be accepted from him. وَلَا هُمْ يُنْصَرُونَ, and nor will they supported by Allah. So this is the translation, verbal translation and idiomatic translation of the verses I recited before you. Here, Quran starts the new lecture from here. Ya Bani Israel, azkuru ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum. O the children of Israel, remember the bounties I bestowed upon you, the bounties I blessed you with. Means all of the bounties which were granted to them and they were bestowed upon are being made remembered, because it is a principle that when a person gives something to someone, he expects to pay the thanks. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted them many bounties, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed many bounties upon them. So therefore, it was generally expected that being the offspring of the Prophet and in the lineage of many prophets, they were duty bound to pay the thanks to Allah. Therefore, Allah makes them remember, O children of Israel, Uzkuru ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum. The bounties were, first bounty was the prophethood. The prophethood was granted firstly to Abraham, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. And he was the forefather of the Holy Prophet, our Holy Prophet as well, and their grandfather as well. And then Isaac was also born to Abraham, and then Jacob was born to him, and then the lineage of children of Israel was starting, and many prophets were sent down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that very family. This was one of the greatest bounties of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you should remember the bounties I granted to you. Similarly, every person is duty bound to pay for the bounties granted to him, to pay the thanks for the bounties granted to him. Every person is duty bound to pay the thanks. Just like one is quite healthy person, he should pay the thanks for his health. If a person is very wealthy, he should pay the charity of zakat, the fitrana, and other. He should pay the additional charity to the poor, just to pay the thanks to Allah for the bounties granted to him. Similarly, beauty, power, political power, financial power, the resources of agriculture, So all of the bounties are going to be questioned about. ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. The day will come when all of the bounties would be questioned about. Therefore, everybody, whether man or woman, whether poor or rich person, resident of this country or some other countries, all of the human beings are duty bound to pay the thanks for the bounties granted to them. Under the same rule, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O children of Israel, you should remember the bounties I granted to you. Firstly, the prophethood was one of the greatest bounties of Allah. That was granted for many times to the Israel. So Islam is a justifiable religion, therefore it is not prejudice. Islam does not refuse the dignity of those prophets who were advented to the Israels, the children of Israel. They are really highly respectable, reverend, and all of the Muslims are duty bound to pay the respect to all of the prophets sent in this world by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether they are from Arabia or the other countries, from Israel, from children of Israel or somebody else, because the prophethood itself is highly respectable and venerable, and no blasphemy is allowed and permissible in any Muslim country. All of the Muslims are duty bound to pay the respect, irrespective of their own prophet or the other prophets, regardless they are from Arabia or from other countries, because prophets are prophets. They are highly respectable and everybody is duty bound to pay the respect. Similarly, the Muslims are expecting all of the humanity to pay the respect to the Holy Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have taught a lesson to everybody in the world that prophets are really deserving person to be respected. Therefore, not only our, but all of the other religions and other communities and other peoples are also duty bound to pay the respect to Muhammad Rasulullah as we are paying the respect to the other prophets. Here Quran says, remember the bounties which I granted to you, means you are duty bound to pay the respect, to pay the thanks for the bounties. For instance, you are emancipated, you are manumitted from Pharaoh, and you were given the manna and quails, and you were given the shelter of the clouds, and you were granted the clothes with your birth. These are the bounties of Allah which are necessary to be thanked for. And وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِي أُوفِ بِعَهْدِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you should fulfill your own promise with me. Means you had promised through Moses and the other prophets that you would believe in Muhammad Rasulullah with all his qualities, attributes, characteristics and dignities, grandeur and splendid. So it was your promise, and you had promised in front of Moses to obey Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in full details. So this is your promise with me, and my promise was, if you follow Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and if you believe in him according to the required criterion, so I will dignify you more and more than ever before, because kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. Quran Majid has announced this community to have been the best community in the world. Therefore, they were going to be included in the best community, but they refused and they contradicted Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And at the end of the verse, Quran says, وَإِيَّايَ فَرْهَبُونَ, and you should be afraid of me. You should fear me only, because I am in a position to give you the dignity, I am in position to give you the prosperity, the power, and I can empower you in the world. I can give you the political power, the financial power, the other powers. If you be afraid of me, I can increase in the number of your bounties. In shakartum la azidannakum, Quran says, so if you pay the thanks for the previous bounties, I shall increase in the number of bounties and in the volume of bounties as well. Quran says, وَآمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلْتُ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ. Here these are the children of Israel. This address is going on. Quran says, and believe in what we have revealed. As the previous revelations were necessary to be believed in, similarly, this is the most important message, comparatively more important and very necessary for you. وَآمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلْتُ, and you should believe in what I have revealed now, مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ, when it is confirming the contents of your book. So this is indirectly a declaration of the clairvoyance of the Holy Prophet as well, Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that he was aware of the unseen secret, because when the Quran was revealed on the heart of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Quran says, فَإِنَّهُ نَزَّلَهُ عَلَىٰ قَلْبِكَ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Gabriel reveals this Holy Quran on the heart of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the heart is a center for the knowledge. When Quran says that the Quran was revealed on the heart of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and all of the contents of Torah, Gospel and Old Testament and New Testaments and Pentateuch, all of the contents of those books were confirmed by Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So confirmation requires an accurate knowledge. It means that the knowledge which was being concealed by the Jewish scholars or Christian scholars was disclosed by means of the Holy Quran, which was previously and in first position was disclosed to Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So when they were concealing and Nabi Kareem was explaining, so this is a proof that Nabi Kareem was aware of unseen secret, as Quran says in Surah Ma'idah, Ya Ahlal Kitabe, Qad Ja'akum Rasuluna, Yubayyinu Lakum Kathiran Mimma Kuntum Tukhfuna Min Al-Kitab wa Ya'fu An Kaseer. O people of the book, the Prophet has come who discloses, who explains, who elucidates the contents of what you are concealing behind the wall in your houses, wa ya'fu an kaseer, and he forgives many of you. It means that the books which were being concealed by the Jewish scholar or the Christian scholars in their boxes, in their houses after the walls, were quite obvious and quite open in front of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this is the meaning of knowledge of unseen secret. As Bezawi says, he defines the ghaib, the unseen secret. He says, Mala yudrikuhul hisso wala taqdihi bada'atul aql. Whatever is cannot be sensible, cannot be understandable, cannot be realized by means of the senses, means with the eyesight or hearing power or smelling power or tasting power or the touching power. When the senses cannot sense it, cannot understand it, and first attention of a person and first intention of intellectuality cannot understand that one, that can be defined as an unseen secret. When the books were not in position to be touched or to be smelled or to be understood by any sense of the human being, and the first attention of wisdom could not understand those books, and even then they were quite open and quite clear in front of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this means indirectly means the declaration of knowledge of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which can be called clairvoyance, the knowledge of unseen secret. Here Quran says, Musaddiqan lima ma'akum. The Quran is confirming what you have already got. So without the unseen secret, without the knowledge of unseen secret, those contents cannot be confirmed. Means Nabi Kareem Islam's book is confirming, which was firstly revealed to the heart of Muhammad Rasulullah. It means that when no one else was in position to understand or to know the contents of those books, but they were already known by Muhammad Rasulullah, it means that he was aware of the unseen secret. Quran says, so this is another sign to confirm, to investigate and to ascertain the authenticity of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that he is a genuine prophet, because when he did not go anywhere to learn anything from anyone in the world, and these books were the books of the people of the books, and Nabi Kareem Sallallahu had got nothing to do with these people. Neither he was born in this family, nor did he get married with this family, and he had no affiliation, trading affiliation as well in the world with this family. So all of the sources which are to communicate the knowledge to someone else were completely closed to Muhammad Rasulullah, and he did not take the admission in any college or university, and he did not go to anyone to learn anything from him. Only Allah has taught him everything. Allamaka ma lam takun ta'lam wa kana fadlullah alayka azima. Quran says, O my holy prophet, we have taught you whatever was not known to you. Means there is no one in the world who can claim that Nabi Kareem was educated by me. So when all of the sources of information were close to Muhammad Rasulullah, even then Muhammad Rasulullah was aware of the contents of their books. It means that they should also have considered the matter when this person did not go anywhere to learn anything from anyone. Even then he knows all of the things. It means that this is the genuine person, the genuine prophet. Therefore he should be followed. And in addition to that, they should also have realized that all of the attributes mentioned in their books were found with Muhammad Rasulullah. All of the qualities, characters, and the qualities which were mentioned in connection with Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in their books, they were completely telling Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Therefore, they should have come to the conclusion that this is the same person about whom all of the information were fed. Quran says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ. It was your duty to confirm him and to believe him first of all, and you should have taken the lead in this field. Instead, you are trying to refuse and reject. First of all, it means that you are going against the intention or against the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is an insinuation. وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ. This is an insinuation which is called ta'reez in Arabic. Means indirectly Allah says that it was your duty to believe in Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him, before everyone in the world. But instead you are trying to reject the faith and belief in Muhammad Rasulullah before everyone. So this is against the intention of Allah. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. Here this verse shows that they were bribed by certain persons. What was that? They were taking the monthlies, the weeklies, the many other ways, but as a consecration, as a gift, because the leadership was confined in this very family. So they thought that if they had got belief in Muhammad Rasulullah, if they had believed him, so all of the income would have been closed. Therefore Allah says, you are trying to concoct, to distort, to change, to interpolate the things in your books just to misguide, just to mislead the people about Muhammad Rasulullah, lest they should identify Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. So this is a selling system. You are bartering the verses of Allah for scanty money of this world. وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ. The end of the verses of a Holy Quran are really a great collection of information. This is an independent science in the Holy Quran. Khawatimul Ayat. According to Imam Allama Badruddin Zarkashi, in his book Al-Burhan fi Ulum al-Quran, he writes that most of the times the conclusion is made at the end of the verse. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ. You know that I am your Lord. I have granted the bounties to you, and sometimes I bereaved you of all of the bounties, and you were debased and you were humiliated by me. So you can easily understand that I can give or take without any restriction, and I have got the unlimited powers. I can do whatever I like. Therefore you should إِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ. You should fear me only. Quran says, وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. And don't mix up the truth with the falsehood. Means the truth was identification of Muhammad Rasulullah and the covenant which was made in front of Moses, be grace and peace of Allah be upon him, about the obedience of Muhammad Rasulullah, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. That was truth. All of the qualities, attributes, and the dignities of Muhammad Rasulullah to be identified with, for the Holy Prophet to be identified with, they were the truth. Bil batil, the concoction, the distortions which was made, and interpolation which was attempted just to cause a confusion in the identity of Muhammad Rasulullah and try to debar the people from obedience of the Holy Prophet. This material was falsehood. Don't mix up, don't confound, and don't mix up the truth with the falsehood. وَتَكْتُمُ الْحَقَّ. And don't conceal the truth. Means the clear signs and symbols which were explained, elucidated, and expounded in the text of the celestial books should not have been concealed by those people. So this was a misuse of their knowledge. Allah says, وَتَكْتُمُ الْحَقَّ. And you are trying to conceal the fact. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. When you already know it. وَتَكْتُمُ الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. And you are trying to conceal the fact when you already know it. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. And establish the prayer and pay the charity of zakat and bow down with the bowing down people who are bowing down in front of me. Here, Quran asks them to establish the prayer. The establishment of the prayer is a fundamental principle. When Moses had a chance to have a conversation with Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Aqim as-salat al-zikri. You should establish the prayer for my memory. Means if you want to remember me, you will have to establish the prayer. So they were already familiar with the name of the prayer, and they had been doing very regularly and punctually in the time of Moses. But with the passage of time, by and by, they gave up all of the rituals and formalities and duties and Islam and religious customs. All of them were forsaken by them, and they became idle people. Quran says, Aqimu salata wa atu zakata, establish the prayer and pay the charity of zakat. The financial system of all of the prophets was with this very way, that certain charities were obliged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the community just to make their affairs run, because running of affairs is not possible without financial prosperity. Therefore, all of the previous communities were asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pay the charity of zakat. Warka'u marra'akin, since genuflection, ruku, was not found with the Jews, therefore they were also asked to genuflect, to bow down in the genuflection with the people. Means they should do the prayer in the congregation of the Muslim. The congregational prayer is Sunnat Muakkada in Islamic law. Islam says, Al-Jama'atu Sunnatun Muakkadatun La yatakhallafuha illa munafiqan. So this is famous as a tradition, but this is not tradition according to the record maintained by Allama Badruddin Ani in Al-Banaya fi Sharh al-Hadaya. He says, this is a quotation of Hazrat Abdullah ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased with him. But when there is no right of a person to say something with his personal discretion, that is believed to have been a tradition which is called a marfu. Means this is verbally a hadith mawquf. Means it ends on Hazrat Abdullah ibn Masud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. But since this is not a discretionary matter, to establish the position of any order cannot be made by any companion. Therefore, we would believe that he must have listened this quotation from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, he says that al-jama'atu sunnatun muakkadatun la yatakhallafuha illa munafiqun, means the congregational prayer is sunnat muakkada, emphatic sunnah of the Holy Prophet, and no one else than the hypocrite can avoid the congregational prayer. Means only the hypocrite can avoid the congregational prayer. All of the believers are fully abiding by the congregational prayer, and everybody should participate in the congregational prayer, because the reward of congregational prayer is 27 times more than the prayer done by one person alone. So this was asked to work ar-rakeen, and do the ruku with the people are doing the ruku, bow down with the bowing down people. Since the ruku was not found in the Jewish system, therefore the additional item was also added here in the Holy Quran, warka'u ar-rakeen. Otherwise, there was establishment of the prayer was enough for the prayer. So this is the end of my lecture in English today. Inshallah, in the next meeting, I shall give you the lecture on this very topic in Urdu language. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا أَنِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. السلام والسلام على رسول الكريم والحمد لله رب العالمين.